I just finished the prologue to Warbreaker, and I am in. Absolutely in. I love this. This magic is so cool. Hues and harmonics, and you can, like, animate things and tell them what to do, but you have to, like, have breaths, and color is, like, a big thing. That's really cool. Vasher getting himself arrested on purpose by finding a bar so that he can punch a priest to get thrown in, to then get the breaths from Var. I love this. I love this. And he made like a little stick guy that goes and gets the keys, and then he had a scarf strangle him. What? And the sword? He has a sword called Nightblood, and the sword talks? This is awesome. This is awesome. Although, when he did finally get into the room and all the guards were dead, the sword was only out, like, a little bit from the sheath, and it still killed all of them. Did it, like, come out of the sheath and then kill them all and then go back into the sheath? Or what happens when it comes all the way out? Huh. And Var was like, do you still carry that thing? And he's like, yeah. Interesting. Very interesting. Huh. I love it. I love it. I'm so excited. The king basically realizing that it's time for him to give up his favorite kid. And then he's like, wait a second. I could totally offload the one that's a problem. Yeah, I'm definitely going to do that. Is wild. Also, it is hilarious that there's a family who has like a mood ring for hair and you can't get away with anything. That's pretty good. So Nightblood can read Vasher's thoughts, and Ciri spent the wedding night naked on the ground, and the God King didn't do anything. So what's up with that? And Blushweaver is great. She's got like some real kind of Milan vibes, you know, with the sultriness, you know? But Lightsong keeps having these visions of his wife, maybe? But all of the priests are like writing everything down that feels significant. Like something is up. And the fact that the royals, Ciri's family, used to be, they're like the rightful rulers? Huh. There's some pieces here. And I'm picking up on them, I think. But anyway, we're back. Warbreaker is happening. I gotta tell you, I'm on chapter 11 now, and this book feels a lot like Elantris, except instead of like Hrathen, Serene, and Raoden, it's Lightsong, Ciri, and Vivienne, as well as Vasher. Because Vivienne now is like going to go save her sister, but she just had to get the breaths from that guy who's like dying, but she's not supposed to be there. So what's happening? And how does Vasher fit into all of this? I don't know. And what is with the God King? What is happening there? I don't know. But I like it. Alright, Lightsong is giving me a lot of mixed signals here. Because on the one hand, he's like, oh my god, it's boring. I don't want to do any of this. And then, I don't want to hear petitions and blah, 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 blah. But then, he goes and hears petitions, and his people are like, can you save us, please? My baby is literally dying. And he's like, they just want me to kill myself. It's like, dude, you sounded like you wanted to kill yourself earlier. What are we doing? Yeah, It's a tough one to figure out. It's like you don't want to be alive, but you do if it means you have to heal somebody else. But it seems like you were cool with people, but now you're like, oh god, they just keep asking me to kill myself. And it's like, isn't that the gig? I don't know, man, a lot of mixed signals here, Lightsong. A lot of mixed signals. Okay, never mind. I'm sorry. Then the last video, I'm like, damn, Lightsong, what are we doing? The second I started back, it gave me all of the answers that I was looking for. So, this is a lesson that I will not learn. But yes, I get it now. So they're gods, but not on purpose. And they have no idea why they're here. They're supposed to find out. And that's the point. Because they've seen death and now they came back and the people are like, hey, what did you see? They're like, I don't know. I'm just having dreams or something. So, okay. I get it now. And, I like it a lot. Yeah, no, I'm in. So Ciri is at like the court of the gods and they're all like debating what they're gonna do next. And the fact that everyone else is like, oh man, this is genius. Because obviously we've been watching Viviana this whole time, and then we were watching the second daughter. We never even thought about the third daughter. They're planning something. The they're very smart. They're very crafty to send the youngest daughter. When in reality, the king was just like, I don't want to lose my favorite one and the other one's a monk. You can just ship the youngest one off. It's fine. But also, where is Vasher? This whole time, I'm like, when's he coming back? Like, he did just show up in the court, and he's got the sword, and people are like, "Oh, that guy." But like, what's he doing? What's his plan? I am very interested in him. And also, that sucks that they were watching her the entire time. And they're like, "Hey, we kind of need an heir soon." And she's like, "No, I'm trying." And they're like, crazy. Larimar knew Light Song when he was alive? I didn't see that coming. So hold on. Vasher killed Denth and Tongfa's friend, and Jules has what are they called? A lifeless. But Bluefinger said that Ciri's not supposed to have a baby with the God King. Or not that she's not supposed to, but that it's really dangerous if she does. What? Are people planning on killing the God King and Ciri and then raising that baby, like, to do whatever they want? Is that the plan here? Because, probably good that Ciri is, playing it up and doing her little bed routine. But, the plot is thickening! They cut his tongue out and never taught him to read? Oh, no! I love that Ciri's going to teach him to read. I love it. This is great. This is great. Why do I have a feeling that Vasher is just holding Nightblood for someone else? Like he's trying to get it to somebody. I don't know. But I got. So Denth is basically Zorro with a sword. He's like super fast. That's really cool, and I feel like it's going to come up later, and I'm excited about that. Although, he did mention that, like, he hates Vasher, so... Never mind, I like it less now. Oh no, what does that mean? I do like that Tong Fa kind of reminds me of Strong Belwaz. Like, for anyone that's read A Song of Ice and Fire books. He's like a less, vulgar version of Strong Belwaz. And listen, Vivenna just met this dude that's an Idrian, and he's been stuck there for a while, and she's like, there's more people? I want to meet them. So, Vivenna might be leading a little thingy. I don't know what she's up to, but I am very interested. I love the conversation between Jules and Vivenna about, like, the different beliefs and the idea of, like, giving up your breath. And she's like, no, I live in the God King now. Like, it was really cool to kind of see her sort of push back against Vivenna, and Vivenna to be like, oh yeah, am I looking down on her? Like, maybe I got to check myself a little bit. Love philosophical debates and stuff like that. The fact that Vivenna just mentioned Vasher's name and Denth immediately was like, I feel like there might be something else there outside of, like, I understand that Vasher killed his friend, but I feel like there might be something else. I don't know what it is, but intrigued. And then Lightsong waking up, and Scoot was like, all right, so you want to talk about your dreams? And he just goes over and he's like, all right, well, that happened, there was a woman. Nope. And now this painting, I'm at the part he just is looking at the painting, and it's the last battle of the Many War, and there's a woman, and she's got a black sword. Is that Nightblood? And also, who's the woman? And then Larimar, Scoot, was like, I don't see a woman. Like, what are you talking about? And he's like, what? Now he can't even see it? What is happening over there? Either way, I'm in. Let's see where this goes. Okay, so okay. Vasher. How do I even say this? So I thought Vasher might have been like a cool, good guy, but now I'm thinking maybe he isn't. I just finished chapter 29, And so, well, hold on, sidebar. I do love that Sisebron is kind of like, warming up to Ciri and is like, actually, you're kind of beautiful. And you're like, whoa, okay. Somebody learning how to read and write. First thing he does is try and woo her. Respect, dude. Respect. But Vasher is overlooking the team, and Vara Trelides, which also, what a crazy name. And I'm watching Dune Prophecy right now, so I think like Atreides, and I was like, what? So Vara Trelides is Denth's real name. And Vasher has been with Nightblood for a while. Nightblood was created by Shoshana to specifically destroy evil. But then Vasher's like, yeah, we killed Arsteel. We also killed Shoshana, which, whoa. And he's like looking at Vivenna and he's like, I'm just going to kill her too. And also, I'm going to kill Denth. And what is happening? I thought Vasher was like kind of a, I don't know, like a cool, like an anti-hero cool good guy. But now I'm like, you're just going to kill Vivenna? Maybe you're not a good guy. So I don't know what is going on. But the Nightblood, like, he knows that his creator is dead, but he doesn't like to remember. A sentient sword is a crazy thing to try and, like, wrap my head around. But, like, yeah, what is going on? And, like, why is Denth going by a different name? Huh. Okay, so, finally ran into Hoyd. That's cool. And he's, like, pretending to be an old man, I guess. Or maybe he is an old man, and he's not pretending. But he's purposefully making himself look older with, like, a white beard. And he's telling, like, stories, like, essentially like a little puppet show. And, like, doing his whole thing. And at one point, he turns black sand into white. Listen, I don't know if this is a smoke and mirrors thing, or if this is a white sand thing. But whatever it is, it was pretty cool. And so he drops all this lore about, like, the previous God Kings and royal blood and all that stuff's going on. But at the end, Ciri was like, where did you learn to, like, tell stories like this? And he said he learned from a man who didn't know who he was in a distant place where two lands meet. And he's like, but that's not important. It's probably important. You know? I feel like that's a thing that, Brandon Sanderson's maybe just like, oh, just like a thing. I'm like, And then at the end, after the story, Ciri's like, I want to go walk around. And Ciri's crying. Why she got tears in her eyes? What's up with that? Huh. Also, Vivenna getting cornered by those lifeless, and then Claude shows up and just kills them all, and apparently they bleed, like, clear? Weird. And I feel like Vivenna is, like, just starting to go through it. I feel like there's something really big around the corner with her specifically. I don't know what it is, but I got those vibes, you know? But yeah, we're getting there. We're making some progress. But I don't know. I just got a feeling that something real bad is around the corner, and you know? Vasher wrapped up Vivenna in her room, and yikes, not good, super stressful. But on the other side, Blushweaver is straight up like laying claim on Lightsong to Ciri, and is like, hey, don't corrupt my boy. Just so you know, if anyone's going into that bed, it's me. That is hilarious. What? Denth and Tong Fa are actually the bad guys? And Vivenna, poor Vivenna, my God, she got kidnapped by Vasher, and then she escapes, she awakens some shit. Okay, but then they killed Parlin, and they've been killing everybody that's been coming to get Vivenna, and Tong Fa has been, like, torturing and killing his pets, and oh no. And you know, the beginning of the book, I was like, I think Vasher's the coolest, I like him. And then I was like, oh man, he might be the bad guy. And he's like threatened to kill Vivenna a bunch of times. But now, if they're the bad guys, and Vasher killed one of their friends, And also, why did Vasher want Vivenna to pick up Nightblood? And when she did, she was like, he opened it and was like, pick it up. What was he doing? Why? Why'd he do that? And then like, Nightblood made her sick. And then he just like, hey, you want to kill someone today? Like a salesman. That was hilarious. But she got out, and Vivenna lost her clothes, sold her hair, has lived in the gutter for a week, isn't good at begging, is now like working for a slumlord, and all she wanted to do was save her sister. Man, it's like whenever you have a character in a series and like all they do is just suffer, but they're like a good person, you know? This poor girl. Nightblood just saved Vivenna. What? And then Vasher shows up. Listen, my instincts originally was like, I like Vasher, this guy's the coolest. But then he was like talking about killing Vivenna and didn't know what was going on. But then, Tung Fa and Denth, they're the bad guys. So I'm like, oh shit, I knew Vasher was cool. He just threw Nightblood into the alley. Nightblood killed everybody. And Vivenna's just so tired, she's like, just take me, I don't care anymore. And Vasher's like, alright, puts her over his shoulder. What? There's so many twists and turns here. But I go back to what I originally said. Vasher is awesome. So I just got to the part where Vasher is like explaining different levels of awakening and investiture to Vivenna. And my question is, how does he know all this stuff? Like, that's a really detailed breakdown about like all the different levels, and nobody else is talking about it. So how does he know all of this? And then he talked about like the fourth level, which is like, we don't talk about that, is giving sentience to non-sentient things like Nightblood. And Vivenna talked to him about it, and he's like, I'm not saying nothing, and don't ask again. Did he create Nightblood, or did somebody else? How did he end up with Nightblood? And how does he know all this stuff? I got questions, Vasher. So Vasher's kind of got a thing for Vivenna now. Cool, I'm down with that. And he mentioned that, like, Nightblood was created with 1,000 breaths, but he knew Shoshana, who created Nightblood, but he also said that we killed Shoshana. So that's not good. It kind of makes me think that maybe it was an accident. Both creating Nightblood, like they didn't know it was actually going to work, and also maybe she died in the process, and Vasher like feels bad about it, so he has to like carry Nightblood as like a penance, maybe? A penance? Maybe? I don't know. Listen, we are close. Shit's getting wild. I mean, they took Ciri. The God King is in his room, but something's up with that. Like, and Blushweaver? Shoshana was Denth's sister? Ooh, that makes a lot of sense now. Oh no. So Lightsong and Scoot are sneaking through the castle, and then they find Denth, and he's like, oh, I'm gonna go torture my friend, it's fine, but they find Blushweaver, and she's like been beaten up by the priests, and then Lightsong grabs a sword, and he tries to fight some people, but he's not really good at it. And then Scoot also tries to fight him, and is also not very good at it. And okay, they killed Blushweaver. No. Larimar is Lightsong's brother, and Lightsong died to save his niece. So all of the priests are Pankal priests, and they're gonna frame Blushweaver and Nightsong, and they're gonna kill Ciri, and they're gonna kill the God King, and they're just gonna make the countries burn each other alive? What? Also, Mr. Sanderson, you got Elantris with the priest that ended up being super evil and wanted to start a war, and now you got Warbreaker, evil priest wanting to start a war between people? Ah! Okay. So Vasher used Nightblood, used up almost all of his breaths. Lightsong gave his life to heal Sisebron. Sisebron spoke, which was cool. The priests, with the lifeless commands, sent the armies off and then killed themselves as like a kill switch, pun intended, to make it to where they're unstoppable. Vasher killed Denth, but Denth was Idrian? Is that why his hair changed color? That was nuts. And Vasher is over 300 years old, So like Vasher, Denth, Shoshana, Aristeel, and the guy who I don't remember his name now, they were like the original 5 like scribes, and Vasher started the many war, but fought it and also ended it. So he was like Kalad, but also peacegiver, and he like Beauty and the Beast transformed himself. He's like Vasher, but then he's like this other god, and he put the stone statues that are all around the town. There's bones inside of them, so they're like a secret like Harry Potter army. Like when McGonagall's like, "Do your duty," he's got those just there. And Vivenna is Vivenna the Awakener now. That's pretty cool. And so the royal bloodline has returned blood in their blood. That's why they can do the hair thing. Okay, but Vasher, his name when he was given was Warbreaker the Peaceful. Cool, Warbreaker. But this book ends on a cliffhanger? A cliffhanger. Just like, that army's headed toward Idris. We should probably stop it. I don't know how we're gonna. I think I have an idea. We got stone soldiers. Let's go get them. And that's how the book ends? What is this? Full review coming next, because, whoo. We're back in the booth. I have finished Warbreaker. Let's talk about it. I have a lot of thoughts, emotions, feelings about this book. This was, I enjoyed it. I did enjoy it. I will say my ADD was off the charts during this journey, so there were some times when I got kind of bored, just a little bit. I did get a lot of like, I don't know, I haven't heard anyone else talk about this, so maybe it's just me, but I did get a lot of like Elantris vibes, you know? Like, I don't know why, maybe because it like took place mainly in this one city, and there was a lot of like succession of power going on, and then there was a subset of like these priests that were actually the bad guys, and they were the real monsters, you know, and like they wanted to start a war between different countries and that kind of thing. So maybe that. I also feel like Light Song, Raoden, Ciri, Serini, you know, Hrathen, or not Hrathen, his crazy buddy that turned into a monster at the end. He kind of reminded me of like some of the priests in this. But I really like the magic system. I thought it was cool. It was a little complicated for me to kind of like wrap my head around. But also, I should say, everything that comes out of my mouth right now is just me and my opinion. I don't know shit about pacing or writing or structure or any of that. I am just a guy who has feelings about books, and I see characters from the point of view of an actor, not from like a writer's perspective. So just to be clear. But ultimately, I did really like it. I like Vasher. I think Vasher's probably my favorite character. Vasher was cool. I like Ciri a lot. I like Vivenna. Vivenna was I liked her arc. Like going from this, you know, really sort of prim, proper, you know, spoiled person to like a more human being. Like, I feel bad that she went through everything she went through, especially because she went to the city to save her sister and then just got abused every shot possible. The twist with Denth and Tongfa being bad guys, that was crazy. That blew my mind. I did like the kind of love between Sisebron and Ciri. I like how that like organically kind of came to be. I like that Vivenna ends up with Vasher. That was pretty cool. But I feel like the ending of this one, the fact that it ends on a cliffhanger is crazy to me. All of that, and then you get like I really like the fight between Denth and Vasher. I thought that was really cool. I loved that Light Song spent the entire time being like, I don't believe I'm a god. I don't know what's going on. I'm just wasting my time. But his whole arc is just like, I don't know, maybe. But then at the last second, he's like, oh, this is important. And then he heals the God King. That was cool. That was really cool. I actually didn't feel sad about that at all. Because I was like, good on you, Light Song. That was a good thing. I did think it was funny because I tried to think about it from Scoot's point of view. Now, imagine you're a guy and your brother is just, you're just two people. You love to go sailing on the weekends. You're having a good time. And then your daughter goes overboard. And mind you, you're a little portly, a little well-fed perhaps. And so is your brother, by the way. And he goes off the side of the boat. Your daughter goes off the side of the boat. He dies saving your daughter. But then he comes back as a god. But he looks like a god. You're like, you didn't go to the gym for that, dude. And then the whole time he's like, I'm useless. I don't want no part of this. Also, I'm going to call you Scoot. Like, can you imagine? I thought that was cool. I really liked the reveal of Lightsong and Lorimar's relationship. I thought that was really cool. I liked the second Ciri realized that Sisebron didn't have a tongue, teaching him to read and communicate. I thought that was cool. I love the colors thing. I thought that was neat. Nightblood is very interesting, like a sentient sword. And the fact that they're the command is destroy evil, but they're not exact on what evil is. So he's just like, we just need to kill people, which is fun. And I love that the idea was just throw him into rooms and then he'll kill everybody and be like, huh? Interesting choice. I was down with it. I did love the scene when Vasher finally took the sword out and he's just cutting down Lifeless. That was cool. And I like that his ace in the hole trick is to give away his breaths so that they kind of freak out so that he can kill them. I thought that was cool. But that cliffhanger, I mean, I enjoyed the book. I thought it was cool. It's not one of my favorites, but also I didn't love Elantris, and I felt like this book, it felt like a better version of Elantris to me. That probably doesn't make sense, but as far as getting through it, and I think kind of, losing focus as we go, and I like the characters. The story was good, but it didn't grab me, in the way that some of these other stories have. But I did enjoy it. But the cliffhanger, the fact that this ends with oh shit, that army's headed to Idris. We'll just get stone soldiers and we'll go get them. And that was, especially after Sisebron shows up as the god, That would have been so cool to see him fight a little bit and do some cool stuff, which he did fight his priests and wrap them up in curtains and stuff. That was pretty neat. Yeah. So it was good. Overall, I did enjoy it. As of right now, do you know what I think it is? Now that I'm kind of digesting this out loud, I think this suffered for me. I was unfair to it for the same reason I was unfair to Elantris. Because I read Elantris after Mistborn, Era 1, and I just wanted to get to Era 2. But I knew I had to knock out these stories in between, and then I got to Era 2, and I was like, oh, amazing! And I think I think this suffered, because the whole time I'm reading this, I'm staring down the barrel at the Stormlight Archives. So perhaps this book didn't hit me as deeply as I would have liked, because I maybe mentally internalized it as oh, this is a step that I have to get through to get to that. But I did like it. I will say that for the record, I did like it. It was not my favorite, but I did enjoy it. All that being said, for anyone that has followed me for the last 4 months of this journey, in the words of Rafiki, it is time. Guys, this is huge. When I picked this up, I was like, oh my god, you do some real damage. That is a chunker. That is 1,200, oh my god, 1,251 pages. This is nuts. Look at that. Oh my god, it is literally almost double the size. That is crazy. But we're here. We did it. We are officially starting the Stormlight Archives tonight. I'm probably going to go live right after this just to talk to people. But, Whew. We made it, guys. We made it. Anyway, Warbreaker was good. Stormlight Archives are next. Yes!